All right. Buckle up, everybody. We're diving deep into the world of puppy parenthood today.
Sounds fun.
And we've got excerpts today from this book, Pet Adoption, Puppy Proofing, and General Puppy Care.
Sounds pretty comprehensive.
It does.
Yeah. A lot to unpack.
Yeah, and we're going to try to help you kind of get the highlights and...
Make it make sense.
Yeah, make it make sense, exactly.
Especially for folks who might be thinking about getting a puppy.
Oh, for sure. This is your crash course.
Puppy Prep 101.
There you go.
Puppy Prep 101.
All right, so before we even think about like picking out the puppy and bringing them home, what are the big picture things that someone needs to consider before they even...
Oh, that's such a good point. You know, I think it's really easy to get caught up in like, oh my gosh, puppies are so cute. I want one now.
I know.
But it's so important to be honest with yourself about whether you're truly ready to take on the responsibility of a dog. You know, it's not just about the cuddles and the playtime. And I think that, you know, our source really emphasizes that.
Yeah.
And it's good to think about your lifestyle. Like, do you have enough time to commit to daily walks, training?
Oh, for sure.
Playtime, things like that.
Definitely.
You know, do you have the space? You wouldn't want to get like a Great Dane if you're living in a tiny apartment.
No, definitely not.
You know, things like that. You've got to think about those things.
Yeah, and of course, the finances too, right? I mean,
big time, yeah.
Vet bills, food, toys, it all adds up.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of factor that in too.
Yeah, I think adoption is something to think about.
Oh, definitely.
You know, going through a shelter or a rescue group.
Right.
Not only is it, you know, a little easier on the budget, but you're also giving a dog a loving home.
For sure, for sure. All right, so let's say you've done your soul searching.
Yes.
You know, you've thought about all those things and you're like, okay, I am ready for this. What comes next?
Well, I think the next thing to think about is, you know, what supplies do you need?
Okay. And it's not just about getting a bunch of random stuff. You know, it's understanding like the why behind each item.
Right.
You know, for example, the crate.
Okay.
Our source mentions, you know, it's helpful for sleep, housebreaking, and travel. But the reason why it's so effective is because, you know, it taps into a dog's den instinct.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it provides this safe space, and that can actually help reduce their anxiety.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, you know, it's not just about locking them up.
Right.
It's about, you know, providing this secure environment for them.
Okay. Okay, so that makes sense.
And speaking of, you know, making them feel secure, puppy-proofing your home is essential.
Oh, definitely.
Like, you got to see the world from a puppy's point of view.
I can only imagine.
You know, they explore with their mouths.
Yes.
So anything that's within reach is fair game.
Right.
You know, think of like electrical cords, cleaning supplies.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Medications, even houseplants can be dangerous. So basically you're saying, like, I need to channel my inner toddler.
Yes.
And get down on the floor.
Yes.
And look around and see.
That's a great way to put it.
What could be a problem?
You know, and maybe even, you know, think about those low-hanging window blinds.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Things like that. Puppies love to climb.
Yeah.
Anything that dangles is just too tempting.
It's an invitation.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we've made the house safe. Now let's talk about food.
Yes.
Because, you know, our source really emphasizes getting food that's specifically for puppies.
Yes. And I think there's a reason for that, you know?
Yeah.
Puppies are growing so fast.
Yeah.
You know, they need a lot of protein and calories.
Right.
It's like fuel for a tiny athlete.
They're like little machines, yeah.
They really are. They're growing machines.
Exactly, exactly.
And another thing is, you know, you don't want to free feed a puppy.
Okay, now I've heard that before, but I've never really understood why.
Yeah, so imagine like giving a toddler unlimited access to cookies. You know, not good for their health.
Definitely not.
Or their behavior.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, and same with puppies, you know. Portion control is so important to prevent, you know, overeating.
Right.
And even, you know, eventually obesity and things like that.
Okay, so we need to be measuring out their meals.
Yes, definitely.
You know, and sticking to like a feeding schedule.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the food situation figured out. Now let's talk about sleeping arrangements.
Okay.
You know, crate versus dog bed. The age-old debate.
The age-old debate, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think both have their pros and cons, you know, and I think, you know, our source mentions that it really depends on, you know, the individual puppy and your lifestyle.
Okay, so there's no like one-size-fits-all answer.
No.
Gotcha.
I would say for new puppies, having them sleep in the owner's bedroom initially,
Okay.
it can help reduce their anxiety
Okay.
because, new environment.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus, it makes those late night potty breaks a little easier.
Definitely, definitely.
But as they get older, I think a lot of dogs actually find comfort in a crate,
Oh, interesting.
as their own little space,
Yeah.
their own little den.
Okay.
And it can be really helpful for travel or if you need to confine them for short periods,
Mm-hmm.
but it should never be used as a punishment.
Right.
It should always be a positive and comfortable space for them.
Got it. So like their own little safe haven,
Exactly.
within our house.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay, now let's talk about something I think is super important. Giving your dog plenty of time outside.
Yes, that is important.
So our source mentions that, having a fenced yard is great for
Mm.
playing and things.
Yes.
But what are your thoughts about, keeping dogs primarily outdoors?
So I would say, a yard is great for playtime and exercise.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really important to remember that dogs are social creatures. They need that interaction with their humans.
Okay.
And daily walks, indoor play sessions, and like lots of cuddles.
Yeah.
Those are all super important for their emotional well-being.
Right. So it's not just about throwing them a bone in the backyard
Oh,
and being like, okay, have fun.
not at all.
We need to be actively involved
Not to be actively.
in their lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay. Think of it like this. Your puppy sees you as family, like their pack.
right.
They want to be part of the action, not just left out on the sidelines.
I love that. That's a really great analogy.
Ah.
All right. So we have prepped our homes. We've stocked up on supplies.
Mhm.
We've mentally prepared ourselves. What's next?
Well, next comes the big day, puppy homecoming.
Oh, the excitement.
I know, it's a very exciting time.
Yes.
But it's also important to approach it with patience
Right.
and understanding, They're entering this totally new environment.
Mhm.
So give them lots of love, reassurance, playtime as they adjust.
For sure. And we shouldn't forget that first vet visit,
Oh, absolutely. That's crucial.
pretty soon after we bring them home.
Yes, very important to make sure they're healthy,
Right.
up to date on their vaccinations, and also, it's a chance for you to ask any questions.
Oh, definitely.
You might have.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we've got the vet visit on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's tackle, I think, one of the biggest
The big one.
puppy parenting adventures, housebreaking.
Yes, it's a big one.
I am all ears because, I've heard tales of woe.
I know, it can be challenging.
I want to be prepared.
But it really comes down to, consistency, positive reinforcement,
Right.
and understanding that accidents are going to happen.
Right, because they're just babies.
They are.
They're learning.
They're learning, they have tiny bladders,
Yeah.
they don't have full control over those bodily functions yet.
So we need to be, understanding.
Yes, lots of patience.
Patient. Okay, okay.
Think of it like potty training a toddler.
Yeah.
There are going to be some setbacks,
Mhm.
but with persistence, positive attitude, they'll get there.
We'll all get through it.
We will.
Okay, so are there, telltale signs we should look out for
Yes.
that the puppy needs to go?
Yeah, like sniffing the ground, circling restlessly,
Okay.
squatting. Those are all classic puppy cues.
Gotcha.
And when you see those, take them outside right away.
Immediately.
Yes.
Okay.
And when they do go in the right spot,
Yes.
make a big deal out of it.
Okay.
Lots of praise, rewards. That positive reinforcement's key.
Oh, I'm sensing the theme here.
Yeah.
Positive reinforcement for, everything.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So we talked about housebreaking. Now let's talk about obedience classes.
Okay.
Because, even if I think I can handle the training on my own,
Mm-hmm.
what's the benefit of taking them to a class?
Well, I think obedience classes are really valuable. It's not just about, teaching commands. It's about socialization, distraction training,
Right.
having that expert guidance.
Right.
Think of it like sending your child to school.
Oh, yeah.
They learn these essential skills,
Right.
how to interact with others.
In a safe environment.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes sense.
And, it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a bonding experience
For sure.
for both of you.
Okay, so we talked about obedience.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. Playtime.
I love playtime.
I know. Puppy playtime is just
The best.
the best. Pure joy.
It really is.
Okay, so we know it's fun,
Yeah.
but is there more to it than that?
There is, yeah. Playtime is so important
Okay.
for a puppy's physical and mental development.
Okay.
It helps them build their coordination, learn social skills,
Mm.
and bond with their humans.
So it's like a doggy workout for the body and mind.
Yeah, a workout for the body and mind.
Exactly.
And you get to be their personal trainer
I love that.
and cheerleader.
I'm here for it.
Whether it's fetch, tug of war, just some wrestling around, playtime's a win-win
I agree.
for everyone.
Okay, now speaking of kind of activities,
Mm-hmm.
our source mentions, the benefits of daily walks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about like bathroom breaks.
Right.
So what are some of the other benefits that you see with that?
Well, walks are like a sensory overload for dogs in a good way.
Okay.
They get to sniff all these interesting smells, explore the world around them,
Yeah.
interact with other dogs and people.
It's like their daily dose of adventure.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And don't forget the physical benefits.
Mhm.
Walking helps to keep your puppy fit and healthy, and that's really important, especially during like that growth and development phase.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So how much walking is enough? Like, what do you recommend?
I would say like aim for at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay.
Broken into like multiple outings.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, adjust it based on your puppy's, breed and their age,
Right.
energy level,
Okay.
and make sure they're fully vaccinated before you, venture too far out.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about households with kids.
Oh.
Okay, because, it's so cute to see like kids and puppies playing.
Mm-hmm. Adorable.
But I know it's also like you got to be careful, right?
Yes, constant supervision is key.
Okay.
Both puppies and kids can be unpredictable.
Oh, yeah.
And you just want to make sure that both parties are safe and respectful.
For sure. Because I can only imagine like a puppy's playful nips might not feel so playful to a small child.
And kids often play too rough with a puppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all about teaching both sides,
Right.
how to interact.
Okay. So we're talking about housebreaking, chewing, socializing with other dogs,
Mm-hmm.
the puppy-kid dynamic. What else do we need to know?
Well, grooming's an important one.
Oh, yeah, grooming.
Regular brushing not only keeps your puppy looking their best, but it helps to prevent mats and tangles.
For sure. And nail trimming, too.
Oh, yeah. Nail trimming, I know that can be a battle,
It can be? Yeah.
and that's why it's important to start early.
Okay.
Get your puppy used to having their paws touched, their nails clipped.
Mm-hmm.
You want to use a clipper that's specifically designed for dogs and take it slow
Okay.
if you're unsure about the technique.
Yeah.
Ask your vet for a demonstration.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we're talking about like desensitizing them
Desensitizing them, yes.
to this whole process.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's talk about a big no-no.
Oh,
Table scraps.
table scraps.
I know, it's so hard to resist those puppy dog eyes.
It is.
But why is that such a bad thing to give them table scraps?
So, table scraps, not only can they lead to begging,
Mm-hmm.
but they can also lead to, like, digestive upset.
Okay.
And there are certain foods that are actually toxic to dogs.
Oh, wow. Okay, like what?
So things like grapes, raisins,
Oh.
alcohol,
Gotcha.
garlic, onions, avocados,
Oh, yeah.
salt,
Got it.
and of course, the big one, chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate.
All of those are off limits.
I had no idea some of those things are dangerous.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't.
So it's better to be safe than sorry
Absolutely.
and stick to their dog food.
Stick to the dog food, yes.
Okay, so we're really hitting home this chocolate thing.
Yeah, we are, because it's so dangerous.
All right, why is it so dangerous for them?
Well, the darker the chocolate,
Uh-oh.
the more toxic it is.
Okay.
Baking chocolate is the most dangerous.
Yeah, gotcha.
So keep all chocolate out of reach.
All chocolate out of reach.
Yes, because if they find it,
They'll eat it.
they will eat it. And, if you think that your puppy has eaten any amount of chocolate, contact your vet or the Animal Portion and Control Center immediately.
Okay, what's that number so I can write it down?
So the number is 888-426-4435.
Okay, got it. I'm writing that down. Because you never know.
You never know.
You never know. All right, chocolate's officially banned
Yes.
from our puppy-proofed homes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about plants? Because, our source also mentioned certain plants are dangerous.
Yeah, puppies love to explore with their mouths.
Right.
And plants can be tempting.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, common houseplants like lily of the valley,
Okay.
oleander, azalea. Those are highly toxic to dogs.
So we need to, like, do our research
Mm-hmm.
and make sure our homes are free of any plants that could be a problem.
Yes, exactly. And, if you think your puppy has nibbled on something,
Mm-hmm.
call your vet or that animal poison control center.
Okay, that number again is
426-4435.
888-426-4435. Okay, I'm going to post that on my fridge,
Good idea.
just in case. Now, let's talk about vaccinations.
Okay.
All right, so, I know that vaccinations are so important for protecting puppies
Yes, they are.
from, all these potentially deadly diseases.
Mhm.
So can you give me, like, the rundown on
Yeah.
what vaccinations they need and when they need them?
So vaccinations are like giving your puppy's immune system, this big boost.
Right.
And, your vet will work with you
Okay.
to come up with a vaccination schedule
Mm-hmm.
that's tailored to your puppy's needs.
So it's not like one size fits all.
Not at all.
Gotcha.
The core vaccines, they cover things like distemper, parvovirus, adenovirus, rabies.
Yeah.
But then depending on, your puppy's lifestyle, geographic location, they might recommend other things like Lyme disease,
Okay.
leptospirosis, kennel cough, things like that.
So we need to, like, trust our vet's expertise on that.
You do, yes.
Okay. Okay, now let's talk about another little thing
Okay.
that can be a problem. Fleas.
Oh, fleas, yes.
I know those tiny little vampires can cause a lot of
It can.
discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the best way to kind of prevent fleas and all that?
So it really comes down to prevention.
Okay.
It just takes one flea
Oh,
to
yeah.
start an infestation,
Wow.
and they can multiply so quickly.
Wow.
So, your vet can recommend a good flea preventative,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really important to treat all the pets in your house.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Not just the one.
Not just the one that's showing symptoms.
Not just the one that's showing symptoms.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about another type of parasite
Okay.
that I know can be a little more concerning.
Mm-hmm.
Intestinal worms.
Yes, intestinal worms.
Okay, so tell me about that.
So intestinal worms, like roundworms and hookworms,
Mm-hmm.
they're very common in puppies,
Okay.
and they can actually be transmitted to humans. So, it's important to take them seriously.
Definitely.
And usually your vet will deworm the puppy at their first visit
Okay.
and then provide guidance on, ongoing prevention.
Okay, so follow the vet's instructions.
Follow the vet's instructions, yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about something that's really important to animal shelters everywhere.
Yes,
Spaying or neutering.
spaying or neutering, a big one.
Yeah, so why is this so important to do?
Well, millions of pets end up in shelters every year.
Mm-hmm.
So spaying or neutering your puppy it's a responsible choice.
Right.
And it helps to control that pet overpopulation.
Okay, so we're not just preventing unwanted litters.
Right.
We're saving lives.
We're saving lives, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Plus, there can be health benefits to it, too.
Oh, okay, like what?
Spaying or neutering can reduce the risk of certain cancers and infections.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so lots of benefits.
Okay, so what's the typical age range for those procedures?
So typically it's like between 4 and 6 months
Yeah.
of age,
Mm-hmm.
but it can be done earlier or later.
Right.
So talk to your vet to see what they recommend.
Okay, definitely. Now let's talk about
Uh-huh.
this can be tricky for new puppy owners.
Yes,
How do we know if our puppy's not feeling well?
right, because a lot of times dogs try to hide their illness.
Yeah, they're stoic.
They are.
Okay, so what are some things we should look out for?
So keep an eye out for, like, any changes in appetite.
Okay.
Vomiting, coughing, sneezing,
Mm.
fever, diarrhea, lethargy, any kind of unusual behavior.
Okay.
If you notice any of those, call your vet
Right away.
right away. Yeah.
It's better to err on the side of caution
Always.
and get them checked out.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, now let's talk about finding a vet
Okay. Yeah.
because, it's kind of like finding a good pediatrician.
It is. It's a very important decision.
What are your recommendations for that?
So, ask for recommendations
Oh.
from, friends, family, or even your local shelter,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's a good idea to visit a few different clinics,
Okay.
get a feel for the environment, the staff,
Mm-hmm.
look for a clean, well-organized clinic
Right.
with friendly and professional staff.
Okay.
And, really pay attention to how the vet interacts with you and your puppy.
Right.
Do they listen to your concerns? Do they answer your questions thoroughly?
Okay, so it's about like finding a vet that we feel comfortable with.
Exactly.
Trust.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You want someone you feel confident in,
Yes.
who's going to be like a partner in your puppy's healthcare.
Okay, well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here
We have, yeah.
in this first part of our puppy prep deep dive.
Lots of information.
It is a lot, but I feel like we've hit all the highlights.
I think so.
From pre-puppy planning to essential supplies,
Mm-hmm.
puppy proofing, nutrition.
Housebreaking, socialization, and finding the right vet.
We've got it all.
We've got it all, but we're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
Stay tuned for part 2
Coming up next.
of our puppy prep deep dive.
Can't wait. Welcome back, puppy enthusiasts.
I know, right? So much more to learn.
So much more. And one thing we should touch on is like the different stages that puppies go through.
Like developmental stages?
Yeah, developmental stages.
Okay.
So just like human babies, puppies have these different phrases, and understanding those can like make a huge difference.
In how we approach things.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me about these stages. Like, what can we expect?
Well, between about 8 and 12 weeks old, puppies are in like their critical socialization period.
Oh, okay.
And this is when they're, the most open to learning about the world,
Right.
forming those positive associations with new people and places.
Oh, so it's like their prime time for learning.
It really is. It's like they're little sponges.
They're soaking it all in.
Soaking it all in, and you want to make the most of this.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, I would say, expose your puppy to, a variety of sights, sounds, smells, people in a positive and controlled way.
Okay, so like some examples.
Yeah, think about, taking them for short car rides, introducing them to like friendly dogs and people of different ages, appearances,
Okay.
and even like different environments, like the park, busy streets.
Oh, sure.
Even the vet's office.
It's like giving them a puppy passport to the world.
I love that. Yes, a puppy passport.
Okay, so we're taking them on adventures.
Yes.
But in a safe and controlled way.
Exactly.
Okay, so what comes after the socialization period?
True. So then, around 4 to 6 months, they enter like the juvenile period.
Oh, my
And they're kind of like teenagers, full of energy, testing boundaries.
I can see the chewed up shoes in my future.
Yes, you might see some of that. But, it's important to just be patient and consistent with your training.
Oh, for sure.
Continue with that socialization, reinforce those basic commands. And give them plenty of mental and physical stimulation.
Keep them out of trouble.
To keep them out of trouble, yes, definitely.
Speaking of trouble, biting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Our source does touch on this, but I'd love to just get your take on how to deal with those sharp little puppy teeth.
Yeah. I mean, puppies, they explore the world with their mouths.
Right.
So biting is like a natural behavior.
Okay.
For them, and it's how they play with their litter mates, learn about their environment.
Right.
But those sharp teeth, they can hurt.
They do, yeah.
And so it's important to teach them that biting humans is a no-no.
Okay. And how do we do that?
Well, I would say, every time they nip at you, firmly say no or ouch.
Okay.
And immediately withdraw your attention.
Okay, like stop interacting.
Yeah, you can even get up and leave the room for a minute.
Oh, okay, so like timeout.
A little timeout.
Gotcha.
You want to make it very clear that biting equals the end of playtime.
Okay.
And then, of course, when they're chewing on their toys, make a big deal out of it.
Okay.
Praise them, reward them, give them lots of attention when they're doing the right thing.
Oh, I'm seeing a theme here. Positive reinforcement.
Lots of positive reinforcement.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let's talk about crate training.
Okay.
Because, our source mentions that it can be a great tool for housebreaking, travel, and, just, I guess, providing that security. But I know some people say that crates are cruel or inhumane. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it really depends on, the perspective and the way the crate is being used. It should never be a punishment or a place where you, lock them up for hours on end.
Okay.
It's about creating this positive association with the crate by making it, comfortable and den-like.
So like their little their little home within our home.
Exactly, their own little apartment.
Oh, I love that.
You know, you can put like the soft bedding in there,
Okay.
some favorite toys, maybe a Kong filled with peanut butter,
Ooh, that's a good idea.
you know, to keep them entertained.
So it's all about making it like a positive experience.
Positive, yes. You don't want to force them in there.
Yeah.
You know, you want them to choose to go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, as they get more comfortable, you can start closing the door
Okay.
for short periods and then gradually increase it.
Okay, so we're desensitizing them
Desensitizing.
to being in the crate.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's talk about exercise.
Okay.
Because I know puppies are little bundles of energy,
Mm-hmm.
but I also don't want to overdo it. So how much exercise, like what do you recommend for a growing puppy?
That's a good question because you don't want to overexert them,
Uh-huh.
especially during, you know, that growth phase.
Right.
But I would say like aim for at least 30 minutes twice a day
Okay.
of exercise. And that can be, you know, walks, playtime in the yard,
Mm-hmm.
even short training sessions.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's not just about like the physical activity, it's also about engaging their minds.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, think of it this way. A tired puppy is a well-behaved puppy.
That is a very good point.
So, yeah.
All right, now you just mentioned engaging their minds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about mental enrichment.
Okay.
What is that exactly?
So mental enrichment is all about providing your puppy with opportunities
Okay.
to use their brains, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and engage in activities that challenge them mentally.
So it's like a brain workout.
A brain workout, exactly.
For dogs,
Yeah.
yes.
And this can help, you know, prevent boredom,
Mm-hmm.
reduce those destructive behaviors, you know, just promote like a happy puppy.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
What are some ways that we can like do mental enrichment?
Lots of options, you know. You can use puzzle toys,
Okay.
interactive feeders, you know, so make their meals a little more challenging.
Right.
Training sessions are great,
Okay.
you know,
Duh.
scent games, even just letting them, you know, sniff and explore their surroundings during a walk.
Oh, for sure.
You know, all of that contributes to their mental well-being.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to like step up my game
I think we all do.
when it comes to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now I've heard this term before,
Mm-hmm.
dominance theory,
Yeah.
when it comes to like dog training.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know like what that is.
Right. So dominance theory, you know, in terms of dog training,
Mhm.
it's been kind of like debunked by the modern like scientific understanding of dog behavior.
So those old school methods of like
Yeah.
alpha roles and stuff.
Yeah, like you're the alpha. You have
Yeah.
to show them who's boss, that kind of
It
thing.
was outdated.
They're outdated and they can be harmful,
Oh, okay, good to know.
you know, because dogs are not wolves.
Right.
They don't operate in this strict like pack hierarchy.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know, so a much better approach
Yeah.
is to focus on building that positive relationship
Mhm.
with your puppy, you know, through positive reinforcement training.
Right, so we're working with them,
We're working with them.
not against them.
Exactly, because they're social animals.
Right.
You know, they thrive on clear communication, positive interactions,
Okay,
a trusting relationship.
I like it.
So yeah, ditch those dominance-based approaches.
Okay, got it.
Work on that partnership with your puppy.
Okay, now we talked a little bit about vaccinations before, but I know some people, you know, they question whether puppies really need all these vaccines.
Mhm.
So can you just talk a little bit more about like why they're so important?
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of canine diseases, they can be spread through the air,
Mm-hmm.
you know, through contact with wildlife, even contaminated surfaces.
Oh, wow.
So even if you keep your puppy isolated,
Mm-hmm.
they can still be at risk.
Okay,
So vaccination is the most effective way to protect them
right.
and, you know, to prevent the spread of these diseases.
Okay, yeah, and I know like with any medical procedure,
Mhm.
there are risks,
Right.
but you know, I think in this case,
Yes,
the benefits outweigh the risks.
absolutely.
Okay, good. So we're all on board with vaccinating our puppies.
Vaccinate those pups.
Okay, now let's talk about separation anxiety,
Okay.
because you know that can be a big source of stress
Mm-hmm.
for both the puppy and the owner.
Yeah, it's a behavioral issue
Yeah.
where the dog, you know, becomes overly attached
Mhm.
to their owner, and they get really distressed when left alone.
Okay, now that is heartbreaking to
Yeah.
think about them being so anxious.
It is.
So what are some signs that a puppy might be struggling with this?
Well, you might see things like barking, howling,
Mhm.
destructive behavior, inappropriate urination,
Hmm.
defecation, even attempts to escape.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it can manifest in a lot of ways.
Okay, so what can we do to help our puppies with this?
Well, the key is to, teach them to be comfortable being alone.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to do that gradually.
Okay.
So, start with short absences
Okay.
and then gradually increase the duration
Mm-hmm.
as they, show signs of being more relaxed.
So it's all about like desensitizing them.
Desensitizing them, yes.
Okay, now, are there any other tips or tricks we could use?
Yeah, I think, creating a positive association with being alone is helpful.
Okay.
So, giving them a special toy or a treat that they only get when you leave.
Oh, so they have something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. And, if it's really severe,
Yeah?
you might want to consult with like a professional trainer,
Okay, gotcha.
a behaviorist.
Now, I know positive reinforcement
Mm-hmm.
is like the gold standard
It is.
when it comes to dog training,
Mhm.
but can you just like talk a little bit more about like what that is?
Yeah, so positive reinforcement, it focuses on rewarding your puppy
Okay.
for the behaviors that you want.
Right.
Making it more likely that they'll repeat those behaviors.
So we're like catching them doing something good
Yes, catch them being good
and rewarding them.
and reward them for it.
Got it.
And it's based on, this principle that animals, they learn best when they associate something with a positive experience.
Okay, so we're not punishing them for bad behavior.
Right.
We're rewarding them for good behavior.
You're rewarding the good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what kind of rewards, like what are we talking about here?
Well, it could be treats.
Okay.
Praise, toys, even just like access to something they enjoy, like a belly rub
Oh, yeah, that's a good
or
one.
going for a walk. And the great thing about positive reinforcement is it strengthens that bond between you and your puppy.
Oh, that's nice.
It creates this like trusting relationship and they're more eager to learn.
Right. It sounds like a much better experience for everyone involved
It really is.
than the old school, like, punishment-based methods.
Yeah, and it's so much more effective.
Okay. Now, I can see how some people might think that positive reinforcement is like
Mm-hmm.
being permissive,
Right, letting your dog do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But that's not true at all.
No.
It's about setting clear boundaries and
Okay.
expectations,
Yeah.
but using these positive methods to guide their behavior.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a free-for-all?
No, it's not a free for.
We're still like the ones in charge.
You're still in charge.
But we're doing it in a positive way.
In a positive way, yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, it's about finding that balance.
So accidents
Mm-hmm.
bound to happen,
Oh, they.
during housebreaking and all that.
Yes, absolutely.
So what do we do when those accidents happen?
So the most important thing is to stay calm.
Oh.
Don't get upset because, accidents are part of the learning process, and if you catch your puppy in the act,
Mm-hmm.
Interrupt them gently, like with an uh-oh,
Okay.
and take them right outside
Okay.
to their potty spot.
Immediately.
Yes. If they finish going potty outside,
Mm-hmm.
praise and reward them like, they won the lottery.
They did a good job.
Exactly.
Yep.
But if you find it after the fact, just clean it up
Okay.
without making a big deal out of it.
So no rubbing their noses in it.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Because that's only gonna, scare them.
Right.
Make them afraid of you, less likely to tell you when they need to go.
Oh, okay. That's a really good point.
Yeah, so positive reinforcement, patience, consistency.
The themes keep coming back.
They do.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the food.
Okay.
Because I know
Yeah.
there are so many options out there.
There are so many.
It can be overwhelming.
It can, but, keep it simple.
Okay.
You want to feed your puppy a high-quality diet
Mm-hmm.
that's specifically formulated for puppies.
So puppies have different nutritional needs
They do, yes. They need a lot of protein and calories.
than adult dogs.
Yes, they're growing.
Okay.
They're developing.
All right. So what should we look for
Mhm.
on like an ingredient list?
So a high-quality protein source should be the first ingredient,
Okay.
like chicken, beef, fish.
Okay.
And you want to avoid things with like a lot of fillers,
Mm-hmm.
artificial colors, flavors.
So kind of like when we read our own food labels,
Exactly. Think about it the same way.
avoid the junk.
Avoid the junk, yeah.
Okay. So we're getting high quality puppy food,
Mm-hmm.
but how much? Like how much should we be feeding?
Right. So the amount will vary,
Okay.
depending on the breed, the age, activity level.
Okay.
But your vet can help you with that.
Okay. Good.
They'll know how much to feed based on your puppy's needs. Yeah.
So we're seeing this theme again. Every puppy is different.
Every puppy is different.
So
Mm.
Talk to your vet.
Yes.
Okay, now what about, I've heard a lot about raw food.
Oh, yeah, raw food diets.
For dogs, is that a good thing?
So raw food diets have become really popular,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there are some potential benefits,
Okay.
but it's important to weigh those against the risks.
Okay, so what are some of the risks with raw food?
Well, raw food can contain harmful bacteria
Mm-hmm.
that could make your puppy sick,
Okay.
could even make humans sick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not good.
And it's also important to make sure that the diet is balanced,
Right.
so they're getting all the nutrients they need.
So if we're thinking about raw food,
Mm-hmm.
talk to the vet.
Talk to the vet. Yes.
Make sure it's a good idea
Exactly.
for our individual puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's talk about dental care.
Okay, dental care.
Because I admit that is not something that I have really thought about.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't think about puppy teeth.
Right.
They're so tiny.
They are tiny, but just like humans,
Mhm.
they need regular dental care
Okay.
to prevent plaque buildup,
Right.
gum disease, tooth decay, all those things.
So we should be brushing their teeth.
You should be brushing their teeth,
Okay.
and you want to start early
Okay.
to get them used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Use a toothbrush and toothpaste designed for dogs, not human toothpaste.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
I'll add that to my shopping list.
Yes.
Doggy toothbrush, doggy toothpaste. Now, you can also give them, dental chews or
Yeah.
toys
Wow.
that can help scrape away plaque.
Okay.
And don't forget those regular dental checkups
At the vet.
at the vet, yes.
So just like with us, preventative care is key.
Preventative care is key, yes.
Okay, good. Now let's talk about parasites.
Okay,
Because I
that's
know
a fun topic.
it's not the most fun,
Yes.
but, it's something we need to be aware of.
We do, because they're out there. And puppies,
Yeah.
they're very susceptible to, intestinal parasites.
Oh, okay. So tell me about those.
So things like roundworms, hookworms, tapeworms,
Mm-hmm.
these can cause all sorts of problems,
Yeah.
from digestive upset to more serious complications.
So we need to take it seriously.
You do.
Good.
And the good news is
Mm-hmm.
your vet can help you with that.
Okay, good.
They'll usually deworm the puppy at their first visit
Okay.
and then give you instructions for, ongoing prevention.
Okay, got it. So again, follow the vet's instructions.
All of the vet's instructions, yes.
Now let's talk about a sensitive topic
Okay.
for some
Mhm.
spaying or neutering.
Spaying and neutering.
So tell me about that. Like, why is it?
Yeah, so it's a surgical procedure
Mm-hmm.
that prevents dogs from reproducing.
Right.
It's a personal decision.
Okay.
But I think it's worth considering the benefits.
Okay, so what are some of the benefits?
Well, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
it helps to control pet overpopulation,
Mm-hmm.
which is a huge problem.
Right.
Millions of unwanted pets end up in shelters.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
It is.
So we're not just preventing litters, we're saving lives.
Saving lives, yeah. And there can be health benefits for your dog, too.
Oh, okay. Like what kind of health benefits?
It can reduce the risk of certain cancers infections, reduce or eliminate some of those unwanted behaviors like roaming, marking territory,
Okay.
aggression, things like that.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So how old should a puppy be
Mm-hmm.
when they get spayed or neutered?
So typically it's between 4 and 6 months.
Okay.
But again, talk to your vet
Right.
because it can vary depending on the individual dog.
Okay, now we talked about, mental enrichment
Yeah.
before, but I'd love to just dive a little deeper
It's
into that
Yeah, it's so important.
because I think it's something that a lot of people don't really think about.
I think you're right. And, it's really just as important as physical exercise,
Okay.
for their mental and emotional health.
Okay, so remind me again, like, why is it so important?
Well, a bored puppy is a mischievous puppy.
Oh, that's a good one.
They need outlets
Right.
for their energy, their curiosity.
And mental enrichment provides that.
It does. It does. So think of it as like a mental workout.
Okay.
Just like they need physical exercise.
Yeah.
They need that mental stimulation
To kind of tire them out in a good way.
in a good way. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some more like specific things we can do?
So, we talked about puzzle toys,
Mm-hmm.
interactive feeders,
Okay.
training sessions. Those are all great
Mhm.
scent games.
Okay.
Letting them sniff and explore during walks.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And, well, all of that
Yeah.
is good for them.
Okay, now let's talk about choosing a dog trainer
Okay.
because I know there are a lot out there.
There are a lot.
So how do we find a good one?
That's a great question, A good trainer can make such a difference.
Okay.
So look for someone who uses positive reinforcement methods.
Okay, so that's like the...
Yeah, that's the gold standard.
Okay.
And avoid anyone who, like, advocates those dominance-based techniques
Right.
or
Okay.
punishment, stay away from that.
Got it. Okay. What else should we be looking for?
So look for a trainer who has, like, experience working with puppies specifically and who is, like, knowledgeable about canine behavior
Okay.
and
So
development
experience.
and a positive training philosophy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And, look for certifications.
Oh, okay. Like what kind of certifications?
So, things like the Certification Council for Professional Dog Trainers
Okay.
or the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants.
Got it.
So those are good signs.
Hmm. Okay, so how do we find these trainers? Like, where do we even start looking?
Ask your vet,
Okay.
ask friends, family
Mm-hmm.
for recommendations. And you can also like observe a training session or two,
Oh, it's a good idea.
before you commit.
Sure.
See how they interact with the dogs, with the owners.
Mhm.
Is it a positive environment?
So it's all about, like, finding a trainer that we feel good about.
It really is.
Okay, now let's talk about I guess this is a kind of a skill we need to develop
Yeah.
as puppy owners, understanding dog body language. Oh, that's so important.
Okay, because, obviously dogs can't talk.
No, they can't.
So how are they communicating with us?
So dogs communicate primarily through body language.
Okay.
So we need to learn to read their signals.
Right. So we need to like become fluent
Yes.
in dogs.
In dog.
Okay. So what are some of the key things we should look out for?
So pay attention to their posture,
Okay.
their tail wag.
Okay. So it's not just
It's not just about the wag.
if the tail's wagging.
You gotta see, like, how's the tail wagging?
Okay.
What's the rest of their body doing?
Mm-hmm.
Facial expressions, vocalizations.
Right.
All of that plays a part.
So 8. AD. All right. We're back for round 3 of our puppy prep deep dive.
Round 3, I like it.
I know. I feel like we've covered so much ground.
We have.
I'm actually starting to feel like a little more confident about this whole puppy parenting thing.
That's good. That's what we want.
So as we wrap things up here,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything like any last minute advice
Oh, good question.
or maybe like what are some of the biggest challenges that new puppy owners face?
So I think potty training is definitely up there.
Oh, yeah,
It's a rite of passage,
it is.
and it can be challenging, but with, consistency, patience, they'll get there.
Okay, so remind me again, what are the key elements of successful potty training?
So you want to establish a regular potty schedule.
Okay.
Take them out frequently, especially after meals, naps, playtime.
Okay, so be proactive.
Be proactive, anticipate their needs,
Anticipate their needs. Got it.
and choose a designated potty area. And take them to that spot every time.
Every time.
Yes, and if they go in the right spot,
Yeah.
big celebration,
Okay.
lots of praise, rewards, make them feel like they won the lottery.
I like it. All right, so lots of positive reinforcement.
Lots of positive reinforcement. And remember, no punishment for accidents.
Okay, no negativity.
No negativity, just stay positive.
Okay, got it. Now, chewing, another big one.
Oh, chewing, yes.
So stock up on chew toys. Is that the solution?
So invest in a variety of, like, durable chew toys.
Okay.
Made from, like, tough rubber, nylon, things like that.
Okay.
And avoid giving them toys that look like things around your house.
Oh, okay.
Like shoes, socks, things like that.
Okay, yeah, because that could be confusing.
It can. So yeah, if you catch them chewing on something they shouldn't, just redirect them to an appropriate toy.
Yeah.
Praise them when they're chewing on the right thing.
Right. Positive reinforcement.
Always.
Now, separation anxiety.
Oh, separation anxiety.
I know that can be really tough.
It can. And it's hard to see, your little puppy struggling.
So how can we prevent or manage it?
So I think the best thing is to teach them to be comfortable being alone
Okay.
and to do it gradually.
Okay.
So start with, like, really short absences and then slowly increase the duration.
Okay.
And create a positive association with being alone.
Okay, so like a special toy.
Exactly. A special toy, a treat that they only get when you leave.
Oh, okay, so they actually look forward to it.
Yeah, and if it's, really severe, talk to a trainer.
Right. Get some professional help.
Yes.
Okay, so we're bringing our puppy home.
Mm-hmm.
We want to introduce him to other dogs,
Oh, yes.
but we also want to be careful
Be careful. Yes.
about those first encounters.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we do that? How do we introduce them in a safe way?
So you want to choose like a neutral location,
Okay.
where neither dog feels territorial.
Okay.
Keep both dogs on leash at first.
Okay.
Allow them to sniff each other.
Just like a little how do you do?
Yeah, a little how do you do? And if things are going well,
Yeah.
you can let them interact off leash
Mm-hmm.
for short periods.
But we're watching them very carefully.
Very carefully, yes. If you see any like tension, fear, aggression,
Yeah.
separate them.
Right away.
Yes.
Safety first.
Safety first. And remember, every puppy's different.
Mm-hmm.
Some are going to be more social than others.
Right.
So just pay attention to their cues.
Okay, now you've said this before,
I have.
but it's so important. I want to say it one more time.
Okay.
Mental enrichment.
Mental enrichment.
It's so important for these little guys.
It is.
So why is that? Just remind everybody one last time.
So mental enrichment helps to prevent boredom. It reduces those destructive behaviors. It just promotes a happy, well-adjusted puppy.
Okay, and remind us of some of the things we can do.
So many things, you know. Puzzle toys, interactive feeders, training sessions,
Right.
scent games, even just letting them sniff and explore during walks.
Yeah, okay, so it's not like a chore.
No, it's fun.
It can be fun
It can be fun, yeah.
to kind of, come up with these activities.
Yes, be creative,
Okay, good. Well, I think we've done
I
it.
think so.
We have officially prepped our listener for puppy parenthood.
I think we have.
I'm feeling like a lot more confident about this whole thing.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
And, even though we've covered a lot of information,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's still just the beginning.
It is the beginning of a journey.
It is. It's the beginning of like this amazing adventure.
Exactly. Filled with lots of, cuddles.
Right.
And playtime and maybe some sleepless nights.
Probably a few accidents along the way.
Maybe a few accidents, but it's all part of it.
But it's all part of it.
It is. And, just remember
Mm.
patience, consistency, and lots of love.
Oh, I love that.
Those are the keys to success.
Okay, well said. I think our listeners are ready to go.
I think they are.
And they're going to be amazing puppy parents.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's it for our puppy prep deep dive.
This was fun.
I know it was. Until next time, happy puppy parenting, everyone.
Yes, happy puppy parenting.
Yes, happy puppy parenting.